sort of a dead show in the calendar forever for everyone. And what we find is that the people who are really like planning these things and are most motivated, they'll go and they'll, it's sort of a filter for knowing that this is a real show that's going to happen by a motivated host. But we do want to have better ways to do that. It's not on our list for the next couple of weeks, and we tend to plan out our roadmap like a couple weeks in advance. But we will have that eventually, and hopefully the stuff that we're shipping before then will be even more useful. Is there anything else you would say about that one, Anu?
I think we just had some new energy around it after releasing in-app club creation, because I know at the end of a club flow, it asks you to schedule one conversation. And I think folks who have already been hosting a lot regularly are just really motivated to get them on the calendar and start lining up their guests for those conversations. So I think we're just seeing more energy around it.
The other thing I would say is, like, I totally get it. Certainly we should have the ability to like clone an event so that it, we actually used to have that, and then it ended up getting removed for reasons I can't quite remember. But we should definitely have that. And the other thing that I've seen people, the other thing I'd say is like having it at the same time, I like, every day or every week is really, really useful. Like when people move it around, people just don't know when to expect it, and so they miss it all the time. So I think having it be at the same time every day is very, very helpful. And what a lot of people do is they'll put at the top of their club description, like daily at 8 a.m. Pacific or something like that. And that allows people to get in the habit of doing it. And when people add to their Apple Calendar or Google Calendar, they can make it a recurring event. Yep, that's sort of where we are on that one. Hopefully we can have it in the app in the not too distant future. And totally get it. I understand the need for it. And I'm sorry we don't have it yet.
Okay, a couple of quick questions around the event calendar. I think we have had these requests before, so I think we feel similarly. Can we please have a way to zoom out of the calendar or jump to a specific date? And part two, we really need to be able to see events listed on user profiles and club profiles.
Yes, I 100% agree, and we're going to build that. So, and probably in the next couple of weeks. I don't mean to speak too out of turn, but like it's very top of mind for us. Like a lot of stuff we're going to be doing for the next few weeks is really geared towards that, like helping people discover your clubs, helping you make it successful, because there's so much excitement and energy around that, and there's a lot more that we can do there. So yes, we're going to add that. Like in the calendar, 100%. I was going through that yesterday, and I was looking through the shows that are happening today. And there are all these amazing conversations that I didn't even know about. Like, what was one of them? Tony Hawk is doing a show about the time he met Tupac this evening, and I'm like, what? How did I not know about this? So yeah, the calendar is it's another area that we are very excited to improve over the next month or so.
Okay. A good question about club limits. Isn't 2 rooms a month a little excessive? I think 2 rooms equals 2 clubs. How can people build real authentic community with so many clubs? And I think this is speaking to, our recent in-app club feature where we kind of rate limit the number you can create at once.
Right. So it sounds like what they're saying is, should you only allow people to create one club ever, or like a smaller number so that they can be I guess what I would say is I think that from a product perspective, here's how I think about it. Like there are going to be there are already like probably tens of thousands of clubs, right? And some of them are amazing and robust and super active, and some of them are not. And so we have to have a product that is durable to that. We have to build it, like in the app, we have to make it so that the best active clubs are surfaced and the inactive clubs are not. Like there's no way around that. And so I actually philosophically think that like more clubs is better, and it's our job to do the filtering. And the reason we limit it at all is because we don't know what we don't know. If if anyone wanted to like push the limits or spam or try and like name squat or do things like that. We wanted to prevent that. So it's really like abuse prevention. But I think like that's really how we view it. So our job to do filtering, and if that's not happening yet, then we need to improve that.
Okay, about club searches. I think the club search feature could be improved still. I'm not able to find my club when I search it, and I can't tell if the best clubs, in quotes, are the ones that I'm being recommended.
Right. Hey, Rohan, so the first part of this is like improving the club search feature. And this person saying, I'm not able to find my club when I search it. Do you have any thoughts on like how club search works and, where the issues are today?
The good news is, the bad news is the search feature is really, really rudimentary right now, and we haven't done a very good job of it. And so even when you search for users, you don't always see the folks that you're following first, and that's a little annoying. And it's the same for clubs. We don't surface your own clubs first. And so on the good news part, we have a new team member, Michelle, who's actually working.
Oh, that's fantastic. Okay, so great answer. Sorry, I took a bite of my breakfast. And the second question is, I can't find the best clubs once I can't tell if the best clubs are the ones that are being recommended. That is another part of that search. So like 100%. And the way that we should do it, we should take into account, relevance of the name, but we should also take into account how active is the club? How often do they host shows? Do people like it when they host rooms? Do people that you follow tend to follow this? There's a whole bunch of data there, and it's just going to get better and better and better over time. So I apologize if it's pretty basic right now, but Michelle is working on it, and it's going to get better.
Okay, question around club formats. I've noticed people are using clubs for many different reasons, but all of them have the same features. Or I suppose they're all, using the same feature, and there's no way to tell what type of format the club is for potential members. Would you consider having tags for the type of clubs like you've talked about for rooms, and for, people to say they're interested in?
Oh, interesting. So I wonder if this is a participatory community, okay, so there are a couple things where it's like the three different versions that we often talk about. One is an event series where there are just a couple people who are hosting it, and like everyone else is really like a listener. The second one is a community where you're all kind of equals. Anyone can start a room. There's not a single host. It's just a community of people that are all passionate about something that come together. And the third is like a private club for your organization. So the way that you would know whether it's A, B, or C, well, I guess the first one, you'd be able to follow it. So I guess the short answer is yes. And I'm like thinking through all the product details in my head as we're talking right now. I think there are different ways to solve for it, but I think the options that are available can do some of the heavy lifting there. Like if it's a private organization, you just won't see it. If it's like a private membership club, but it's more of a community, you won't be able to follow it. Like it's just sort of, you'll have to be invited to be a member. So like some of the options that the club founders toggle can affect your ability to understand what type of club it is. Other people use the description, or they use the club rules to explain the nature of it if you really want to dive into the details. With regards to like what the format is this like a news show? Is it a variety show? Is it a musical show? Is it something else? I haven't thought about that, having category tags like that. But that's actually super interesting. There's services. It's like by genre, it's by mood, it's by format. So as we get more and more clubs here, allowing people to say like, okay, I want to just like tune into the news, or I want to hear stand-up comedy, or something else like that. I can imagine format being a very useful complement to topic. So
Yep.
yeah, totally. or like church services or something like that. I haven't thought about that. I think that's a great idea. And again, like we're going to be